Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webinar for today. We will start with a round of introductions. One second. So I'm Alina. I will be together with my colleague Nikki. I'm the student recruiter for the Master in Management. And Nikki is the Career and Student Services Officer. And she will actually, alongside our special guest, she will tell you more about the MM program and how that this program can help you in your career. And we have guests, we have Laura and Humphrey. Maybe would be nice to, instead of me talking a lot, maybe would be good to let Nikki and Laura and Humphrey to introduce themselves. Nikki, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. It's very nice to see all of you here today. My name is Nikki, as Alina said. I'm a student counselor and a student and alumni officer at MSM. I joined MSM back in 2019, and I started as an admissions officer, so that's what I did at first. And then since last year, I've been working as a student counselor and student and alumni officer. I take care of a lot of different things, mostly events, workshops related to career services, also student services, social events, so everything. If you have any questions during this presentation, feel free to put them in the Q&A section or in the chat. And you can also always send me an email if you have any questions.
Great, thanks so much, Nikki. Laura, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. So I'm Laura, 25 years old, and I'm coming from Spain. I studied in Spain my bachelor's in industrial engineering. Then I worked for a bit in a company in the automotive industry. And then I decided it was the right time to come to the Netherlands to study masters. So I moved all the way to Maastricht to do the master's in management. And after that, I moved to Eindhoven, where I'm living now. I'm also working in Eindhoven as a supply chain manager in a company that's called ASML. And yeah, I'm a bit of Dutch now. So, so that's a bit about me.
Thank you so much, Laura. Humphrey.
Hi, everyone. As Alina said, my name is Humphrey Disabila. I'm a Ghanaian and part of the MM7 batch. Basically, I'm working as a data analyst, but more into sales at Metronic. I believe it's formerly where MSM was. It's right opposite the MSM building. And yeah, basically, yeah, that's me. But my background is data analyst, and I work as a business development executive way back in Ghana before moving here for my master's in management at MSM. Yeah, so that's me. But currently, I live in Maastricht, and yeah.
Thank you, Humphrey. You will get a chance to know about Humphrey's experience at MSM. We will ask them questions along the way. All right, and if you have any questions, you can already add them in the chat. At the end of the session, we will take each question one by one and allocate some time for that. And maybe even good to specify if you have a specific question for Laura, for example, or Humphrey, just add that in your message. All right. So what to expect from today's session? We will give you some general information about MSM, and we will talk about Nikki. We'll talk about the Master in Management Skill Booster and how the program can fast forward your career. And we will end the session with normally the session after questions up here. We will have practical information about the program, and we will also leave what you have the session. Yeah, you can always get in touch with. Also, in case you are not sure if you heard certain information correctly, we will share the recording afterward. So then that is also good to know. Business schools in the Netherlands, and it offers Master in Business Administration, Master in Management, and also Executive Education. Here are some fun facts. It's internationally recognized, especially since we merged with Maastricht University. Now we are benefiting of the Triple Crown accreditation. So good news for the students. And this also means that it's in the top 1% of business schools worldwide, because only a few business schools really have this the full accreditation. It's very diverse. It has over 90 nationalities since 2018. So this also means that Laura was a special case. We don't have a lot of European, but we do have students from all over the world. So this is also what makes MSM special. It has a unique free border location. I will go into that a bit more, but what you need to know is that also when it comes to company visits, or it's also in the Netherlands, Belgium, and Germany, so then it's quite international as well. A hands-on learning approach. So we are talking about case learning that is more practical than theoretical. Comes to networking, because in the business world we all know how important networking is. We do have an extensive alumni and also global network in the partner universities, and all in all, the experience with MSM is quite personalized. We also have a career and personal development track, and Nikki will tell you all about it today. Full-time also offers expertise tracks. So then, in a nutshell, what you need to know is on this slide, but of course, we have so much more to tell you. But before we move on, I would like to ask our guest today, why did you choose MSM? And Humphrey, do you want to go first?
I think this is really a very deep question, and I really enjoy asking every time. because as I'm here now, MSM is part of the reason why I'm in the Netherlands and I am who I am today. So the reason why I chose MSM, probably before moving to the Netherlands, I had to break down the reason why I'm moving to the Netherlands or MSM or applying for any other course in the Netherlands into three parts. One is the credibility of business, and three is after school whatness. So after reviewing MSM's portfolio, what they've done on LinkedIn, I was like, yeah, this could really matches what I'm looking for. So why then don't I apply for it? And lo and behold, I applied and I had it. And even after school, they've still been supportive, even looking for jobs and other things. Thanks to the team, Big Nikki B, Hermina, Mouts, and everyone, the lecturers, everyone. I think this is basically why they're really credible and supportive. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Humphrey. Laura, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. So for me, it's a bit similar. So I would highlight three things. First, because it's a very international school. So that really attracted me compared to other universities I was looking around, because my already to any other country in Europe to study, but this was one factor. And then the curriculum, so the wide variety of courses, because you get from finance to personal development. So you really work on your hard skills, but also on your soft skills. And then last one that you also mentioned, Humphrey, is the credibility. So the credibility that you like to trust them.
Thank you, Laura. All right, then we can move on to our presentation. We were talking about the location as well. So this is the Netherlands, and then everybody thinks about the Netherlands and they say Amsterdam or even Rotterdam. But we are actually here in the south of the Netherlands. It's actually, fun fact, it's actually the only area where that is a bit on a higher altitude, so it has hills and landscapes. And it's between Belgium and Germany. So then it's, in one evening, if you want to have dinner in Belgium or Germany, you can actually take the train or a bus and get to it. And as I mentioned before, also to meet companies, you can explore the area a bit more. And when it comes to Maastricht, a bit about what students they usually believe that is very international. Of course, it's the Netherlands. You can bike anywhere. It feels safe. That is something that a lot of the students appreciated. It's a nice combination between historical and modern. I like to think it's a bit. It resembles the Harry Potter fairy tale atmosphere. But that's just me. And of course, in the Netherlands and in Maastricht, speaks fluent English. It's quite green, so for those of you who nature, you have a lot of areas to explore. And it's small enough to feel cozy, but big enough to feel like a city. And you always have something to do in Maastricht, especially during Christmas when you have Christmas markets and a lot of lights and so on. Then Laura, Humphrey, how did you? Humphrey, you already live in Maastricht right now, right?
Yeah, I do. Okay. It feels like home.
Okay.
For me, I've had opportunity to live in mostly the big cities. I went to live in Enschede for my second master's, and I still miss Maastricht. So I came back. After getting a job, I had the opportunity to work from home. And I was like, I can't live in Enschede. Let me come back to Maastricht. Yeah. So Maastricht is more like white civil environments. The people are nice. They are like they accept everyone. So I'm from an African background. I think where we live safe. I think I really enjoy Maastricht, being the older city, and I enjoy everyone. I think most people in Maastricht know me, so it's like a home for me right now. So yeah.
All right, and Laura, you are now living in Eindhoven. How is it also when you have a different perspective of another Dutch city living in Maastricht?
Yeah, so now I'm living indeed far away from Maastricht, and I miss it because Eindhoven is not as beautiful as Maastricht. Still, it has its own things, but Maastricht is really beautiful compared to other cities, and it also has that quiet atmosphere. But at the same time, there's always events going on. There are a lot of students, so you way to be doing something, and indeed enjoy the nature. I love to go for walks, and I really did that a lot in Maastricht. So I think it's just a very easy city to land in, and definitely the point of that everyone speaks English makes it very welcoming. And just very easy to live there.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. We'll talk a bit now about the master management. In a nutshell, we did talk about the fact that it's quite international. So we don't need to go through all the details right now. But we do have, for example, a lot of students from Asia, Africa, Europe, and then Middle East. How we can manage the classrooms. You don't need work experience, and it's up to 3 years of work experience. And we actually accept for you to be eligible. If you pass that, you might be actually a better fit with the master in business administration. So then that's another story. We do have a balance between male and female in the classrooms. So then it's 50-50. And the average age is between 21 up to 5. We might surpass 25, but normally this is a bit the age group. And then when it comes to job areas, we invite people with all master in management. Normally, you need for a bachelor in business, so you can complete a master to do a pre-master. We don't have that. It doesn't matter what background you have. We believe that actually diverse backgrounds will make the classroom more engaging and dynamic, and you have a lot more to learn from each other, skill-wise and knowledge-wise. So then that's the criteria. When it comes to the job market in the Netherlands, so what do companies want? One thing we can tell you is that in the Netherlands, there are vacancies for expats, and this is something personally I also noticed. I moved to the Netherlands, and at the moment the job market is a lot engaging and dynamic than it used to be a few years ago. So and this also happened post-pandemic, because now it's also more flexible to find a job. For example, if you live in Maastricht and you want to find a job in Amsterdam, it's more flexible because of hybrid working or remote working. So the pandemic changed the job market a little bit, and at the moment you have 123 vacancies available per unemployment. So then there is always an option for you to find a job in the Netherlands, and especially as an expat. And normally, when it comes to the job market, we look at skills, and the market landscape has changed a lot, because a while ago companies were looking at hard skills more than soft skills, but now it's actually the other way around. Companies look at what are your social abilities, how resilient you are, and a lot of soft skills while looking at the hard skills. But the mentality has shifted a bit. And this is something we also notice, because we do collaborate with a lot of companies and we do regular reporting, and we notice that, there are certain skills that they are looking for. Okay. So just to give you some quick examples, and then when it comes in 2015, the answers are quite different compared to 2020. For example, critical thinking was a bit lower than it is right now. So critical thinking even went up as the one in top 3 of the skills that employers are looking for. And creativity was not as popular as it is right now. Now there's a lot of innovation happening, and even when it comes to methodologies such as design thinking and so on, creativity is a crucial skill that employers are looking for. But these are just examples, and there are also new skills such as emotional intelligence or cognitive flexibility, so how resilient you are, that are very important when it's finding a job. There were 2 more slides that don't appear here. If you bear with me 1 second, and then we can move on to Nikki. I can present them. Just 1 second. For some reason, these 2 slides were hidden. So it was one when it comes to what employers need in a job, and what employers find difficult to find. Yeah, and so normally what they are looking for is someone with the ability to solve complex problems and creative thinking. So we talk about creativity now, and digital impact on time management and the sensitivity to cultural differences. Now more and more companies are very international. Project management skills, networking skills. That is also something that a lot of employers are looking for. Storytelling, and we find storytelling in, for example, data analysis and so on. So it's not that leaders do with their employees, but it's also about how you interpret data, reporting, and numbers, and so on. So that is also very important. And then what is most difficult to find, and one that actually surprised us when we talk to companies, is the ability to train and coach others. So we have a lot of professionals that are specialists in their field, what they do, but then it's very hard to be able to coach someone else. So then that is something that employers are really carefully looking at, besides many of the skills that I already mentioned now, like creative thinking, storytelling, and so on. And before moving on to Nikki, I'm very curious to know from Laura and from Humphrey, how was it for you to find a job in the Netherlands?
Okay, to start off with, I was part of the 2019 batch, and during that time we had COVID. Mm-hmm. But lo and behold, I was so glad to be part of MSM, and also being a student of MSM. And with the guidance of Hermina and others, I was able to have a job along the line during the COVID times. I always say applying for a job is a job itself, and MSM gives you the leverage to also start looking for a job whilst you're in school, because it gives you hands-on company assignment that you can also do, and also helps you to leverage yourself even after school, and it helps you to apply for jobs yourself. But I think MSM really did a great work, and I did enough to be in the team.
Thank you, Humphrey. Then Laura.
Yeah, so it was actually a smooth process. Also, coming from MSM, we got a lot of input on how to present ourselves, how to work on those soft skills, to then being able to be in contact with companies. Also through, for instance, the project we have with a company, to learn how to be honest with the people from a company with food audiences that you might face when looking for a job. Yeah. And then, yeah, the personal guidance that MSM would adjust to a particular student if they need help to find a job. Also, it depends on the industry many times. Yeah. So, yeah, it was definitely very helpful, and I think needed tools to face that new stage in our careers.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. And speaking about tools that will help you, Nikki will move on with the presentation, and she will present on how can MSM boost your skills.
Yes, thank you so much, Alina. So indeed, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about how MSM can boost your skills. Let me see. Can you go to the next slide? Wait, I can. Okay, great. So I'm going to give you a bit of an overview of what we do at MSM. So if you can click again, Alina, thank you. It's a bit of a, yeah, we have to see how we have to work together on this, a good team building. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start telling you a little bit more about teaching and how we approach things before I'm going into the specific things that we offer, the specific workshops, the specific things. So first of all, the teaching approach, you'll see that at MSM we're very hands-on. We're going to work around certain teams, certain projects. You'll be doing a lot of group work. There will also be individual solo work. I already see Humphrey nodding. I see Laura nodding. This will of course help you navigate the cultural differences between everyone. Communication skills, working together will also help you work together in teams later on in the company that you'll end up working at. So that's very important to us. We choose a hands-on case-based learning method because that helps you in your career as well to approach difficulties, problems, the problem-solving skills that go along with that. And that also all helps you in your career because there, of course, you will always get problems and you will always have to fix them, work on solution and on projects. So that's why we already start with that in the master program itself. And then hopefully it's easier for our alumni to also do this when they start a job. Besides the academic part of the course, we also try to make it a bit more practical. So we have people from companies visiting and giving a lecture. We have our students going to the companies and visiting them, see how their processes go, what it actually means to work at the company, and we have simulation games as well. If we go to the next slide, then you see an outline of the curriculum. So you can see it is a little bit of everything. So you get a base of skills like finance, management science, but we also focus on more soft skill related courses like management for diversity, for example. It's very important for us at MSM to also focus on sustainability. So we work a lot with sustainability, the SDGs. This year we started the climate for SDGs, so you see that pop up throughout the presentation as well. On indeed more academic subjects. On this slide, we see that besides the academic subjects, we also look at everything else. So we have hard skills and the knowledge, but we also look at the soft skills. You see that for MM in the personal development portfolio that they work on throughout the year. You've got different sessions on that. Like I said, we have competitions. So we have the normal group works during the academic subjects, but we also have group works in the competition style around SDGs, so the SDG Challenge and the European Future Tech Challenge. I know that both Humphrey and Laura were at MSM during COVID time. Humphrey, I think, started normally, and then Laura started into COVID, and that's weird in between phase. So we'll have a chat with them later to see how they experienced all of this and if they were able to join one of our sessions. But it's good to keep in mind that, of course, during COVID, this was a bit more challenging. But we do offer it now again, so that's really nice. And then for MM, you also have to write a final assessment, so your master thesis. These are two examples of the group consulting projects that our MM students can do. The first one is from 2018, and the second one from 2019. A bit on the over COVID again. We were not able to do this in this setting every year. A lot of our teaching was online, of course, so it was a bit more difficult in this, but we're back up and running now, so that's really nice. Besides all of the focused projects and subjects, we also offer the career and personal development track. It consists of three things. So we have the personal development, the skill development, and the social events. So I listed a few examples of everything. It's completely voluntary, so you don't have to take part in any of this if you don't want to, but we do advise you to actually take part in it and attend as many sessions as you can, because this does really make a difference if you go and want to find a job here in the Netherlands or even in the EU. We see a lot of our students are indeed from outside of the EU. There are very big cultural differences, so it really, really helps them to have a lot of these workshops, get a feel of how the market is different, what are Dutch companies looking for, because that's also often very different from what people are used to. So even though you do not have to attend, it's always nice if you do, and it can really benefit you as well. We also see that people that do attend a lot of these sessions have it a bit easier once they go look for a job. They know what to expect, highlight, how to present themselves, and that's also very important, of course. So if we are looking at the skill development, we offer different things like very basic things like CV writing. What do you have to put on there? What can you leave out? What's important to highlight? Same thing with the motivation letter, of course, very important to know how you have to write it, what is very important to mention here in the Netherlands or Belgium or Germany and necessary. Interview techniques, if you have, you can always schedule mock interviews, like Hermina does that, and networking events. Then we have the personal development side. We work a lot on self-insight, self-knowledge, seeing, having a look at your personality. Okay, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Do I need to work on something? Is there proof? You know, we also, I think Alina just mentioned it in one of the first slides, that emotional intelligence is now very, very important for companies here. So that's something that we have a look at as well. Also things like improvisation skills and the career planning is something that we look at the personal development stage. We have the social development. So we have movie nights. We have coming up in March where we'll have an entire day around that subject. We have debate nights, sustainable development. Like I said, SDGs are very important. We had Climate Fresk. We have a day around Earth Day with challenges and a nice dinner. So that's something that we find very important as well. And then we have the job searching support. This, of course, comes into the picture a bit later on, a bit more at the end of your master in management. And even after that, even if you're an alumni, you can still contact us. We're very happy to still help you schedule mock interviews, have a look at your CV or whatever. So that's something that's always available as well. What we do around job searching is the corporate week. This year it will take place in June. And during that corporate week, a lot of times tell our students a bit more about the mission, and often they also have vacancies. So our students can also what company I like, what company I really not like. Are there certain positions that I'm very interested in? They can network, which is very useful to train those skills as well. And we've seen that some of our students end up working at one of the companies that were present during the corporate week. So that's also nice to see and very, very nice for us, because if we then invite them back, the companies, they often bring our alumni along. So that's always very nice to see. I think here it's nice to ask Laura and Humphrey a little bit about their experience. Of course, it's a bit tricky with COVID, so you probably didn't do all of the events, or we couldn't offer all of the events. But I'm really curious to hear what your
so when I arrived to the Netherlands, indeed, COVID was already the first couple of months we were able to attend classes in person. So that was very nice, because then you could meet all of your classmates in person. For me, it was completely new because I had never been in such a moment. So really bringing all together, all of our backgrounds to backgrounds as well. That was a very nice experience. And then luckily I was looking at this list, and we were able to do most of the activities in here. I also took part of the SDG challenge. So that's a competition in which you collaborate with a company as well. So yeah, definitely I feel like this also in MSM. And just also a last comment, I think definitely the combination of the different technical backgrounds give a complete different experience to the masters, and also the effort and the focus you put into the skills development, the soft skills, that really makes a difference for jumping into the career and the job market.
Okay, thank you so much, Laura. That's really nice to hear. Indeed, like Laura says, you're together in a class with so many different backgrounds. Our aim is always to ask people their experiences as well. And that also helps people that maybe want to switch their careers or studied one thing, want to go to another section to work. You experience it.
I think just really, I would say MSM is just like a parent who still feeds their children even after attaining adulthood. So whilst you're in MSM, they'll still feed you the vital information regarding job search, after school, how to train you in terms of skill development, personal development, whatever is over. Just you said these things are voluntary, but I would say it is involuntary. So I think I have to rescind with your word. I really enjoyed MSM that much. During our time, it was really COVID, but like I said, the team, Mina, they were helping us back and forth. How we can approach, how you can apply jobs. You know, most of the jobs were closed for applications and all that, but we managed our way throughout, and lo and behold, we are where we are today because of MSM. Yeah.
Thank you, so nice to hear. Always nice to hear that our alumni are doing well. So thank you. Okay, so if we continue with the presentation, we'll see that. Yes, we'll see that we also offer the student challenge, like I already talked a little bit about, together with Laura, who did the SDG challenge, if I understood correctly. 2 challenges, SDG challenge and the European Future Tech Challenge, which in your time I think was called the Internet of Things Challenge, but they rebranded to European Future Tech Challenge. I will, for this presentation, focus more on the SCG challenge because that's a bit easier to talk about, especially since the other one rebranded, so it doesn't really make sense to add that to your experiences. Since you work around SCG, so the Sustainable Development Goals, our students were connected to companies with an SCG-related issue, and our students then had to find a solution for this issue. There are two different ones. We have the national one, where all of the universities in the Netherlands take part, and we also had an MSM specific from MSM competing with each other. Can you tell us a little bit more about your SCG challenge? What was the company that you partnered with? What was the issue that had?
Yeah, sure. So it was, in my case, the national competition, the national SDG challenge, and we were presented with a problem statement from a company called Alumni. They do catering for university, also for industry, and they wanted to get more clients, more customers, to vegan vegetarian products and to make it just me. So it was a nice collaboration with the company. It was definitely nice group work, because indeed you had really to think alike, put into the room different solutions and agreements. That's the most challenging part. But yeah, then we presented it to the company, and I think until today, the company and the SDG challenge people are still in contact with some of us. So it was definitely a very nice experience. And then two people from our group got to, they went to Amsterdam to present our solution in person. So that was really good. Also going to practice presentation skills. Yeah, I would actually repeat the experience again.
Thank you so much for sharing. That's good to hear. Indeed, things that you also see coming back everywhere is networking skills, presentation skills. You will get to practice that every week, every month of your master in management journey. So at the end, you should be quite comfortable with that. Hopefully, if we do everything right. If we look at the next slide, it will be a short overview of what we do and what we offer to actually make a difference. Hopefully, you see that. The curriculum focuses on very academic subjects together with the expertise track that you can take part of if you want to. You don't have to, but if you want to, the option is there. The expertise will have additional few courses around the 6 subjects. It is a hands-on learning, like I said. We work around solving a problem, group works, but also individual works and challenges. We work on your self-awareness, so your personality, your emotional intelligence, everything like that. Skills, communication skills, networking skills, also part of that is something that we also find very important. We actually already start with your networking skills during the introduction week, where we always have a social event at the introduction week, where also alumni are invited, possible mentors are invited, and there you can immediately start practicing your networking. Very international classroom, a lot of different nationalities within the classroom, most of them outside you. This helps you think about their perspectives from people from other cultures. Also work on your communication. Some people are very direct in their communication, others might not be that direct in their communication, so it's very good to practice that as well. And it's good to practice your people management. A lot of people that study the master become one day, so it's very good to practice everyone's needs in mind, and to focus your skills on that. It is a pressure cooker. It is a lot of work within 1 year. That's why we also say do not take a student job, do not work on the side. You need your energy and your time for this pressure cooker master in management. But it does help with stress management, time management. Definitely those are things that you get to train during that year as well. And of course, like I said, career and personal development track. So all the things that I just listed are part of that. Which can take part in if you want to, and we do really recommend it. So that was an overview. Then we are going to look at the career part. So specifically, what does it mean having a master in management? You know, how does it help you? So today, I don't know if we have any Formula One fans in the webinar today, but they actually started testing today, so this is perfect timing. We can compare it to Formula One. So having this master in management gives you the pole position. Pole position is the first starting place on the grid, so it's a very. But if you ever watch Formula One, you also know that you start from the first place doesn't mean anything. If someone runs into you, if the car is quicker, if there are obstacles along the way, everything can change still. So what you'll see is that you're in competition with other bachelor and master students. They're all behind you, stacked, ready to go. And it's time to start a race. For 2 years, you'll start working, you'll have to prove yourself. A lot of our master management students do not have work experience yet. So it is important to get a feel of working in a company, seeing what your tasks are, working in a team. Although you had some practice at MSM, it's still different, of course, when you work at a company. So that is what the first 2 years are mostly about. You are competitive because, like I practice your skills with international groups, presentation skills, networking skills. Those are all things that you've already trained during that 1 year master in management. So that does give you a bit of an advantage. And then after 2 years, we see that a lot of our, or mostly most of our master in management, we have steep climb. So we see that they get promotions, that they become managers, or get better offers at other companies. So we do see their growth very, very clearly between those years. I had a look at the statistics today for our Master in Management alumni, and 92% of our alumni are currently in a job. A few examples, we can see the clear progression that they make. So from assistant to manager board to co-CEO are things we see, but also a marketing officer to a manager. Those are very, very common after 2 to 5 years after graduating. So that's really nice. Then at the end, if I can already call it the end after 5 years, but for now we'll call it the end. Our alumni end up with a job. We don't have information on everyone, of course, because it's very dependent on if people update their information in our systems, on our LinkedIn, stuff like that. But we do see that over 92% has a job and over 93% finds a job within a year. And most of the people that find a job within a year actually find a job within a few months after graduating. So we see a lot of people graduating in September and starting in January, for example. So often it follows each other quite soon. Our alumni, you can find them anywhere. We have a lot of them that are still around, so either in the Netherlands, but also in Belgium, in Germany, in France. About 25% find jobs outside of the EU. Could be because they get an offer in America. We have one of our recent alumni that have people that have their families, of course, in the countries that they're from, so they choose to go back. Could have for any reason. I listed a few job positions that our alumni have. So as you can see, it's could be anything. We have people in marketing, in HR, in engineering. We have managers, we have juniors, we have seniors. So this gives you a little bit of an overview of our line 2 and where they end up. I want to ask Laura and Humphrey for their input once again. If you think back of graduating in September and then having to find a job, how did that go? Did you find something quickly? Was it easy? Was it more difficult?
Yeah, hello. I think with mine, like I said before, thanks for the question. Like I said before, during our session, we had COVID. So it wasn't that easy, but the thing is, when you have a purposeful mindset, I think you can always sail through. Always try and keep close contact with MSM, MSM lecturers, someone like Helena, wherever you find yourself. Like MSM is like a parent who still treats their children. So it wasn't easy, but I think just trying hard and also